Hello, this is Synoptic, and I believe it's time for another commentary. Now just sit back, relax, and would you kindly take your hand off your crotch. Now this is a 2 vs 2 on the map Arcole. I'm playing as France. My teammate Imperator L33 is playing as Prussia. Our opponents are Whyb the Lone Jaeger playing as Great Britain, and KFX Warhawk playing as Austria. Now I'm not going to go through all the units. You'll find all the details in the information bar. Most of them are pretty standard apart from Austria, who has about 9 skirms, and everybody on this game has 2 howitzers, which is becoming quite standard. You don't really have to have them, it's just people take them. It's just that sense of security. And some topics, I'm going to go through our generals again, and I'm going to cover more on the better generals. Some people asked about that, and someone asked me to play it with Napoleon himself, so I'm using him, and things turn out pretty crazy when using the high-end ones. Up until recently, I have not used high-end gens at all. I've only ever used the generic one, and the morale difference is pretty huge. So seeing my opponent opposite me as Austria, the way he's positioning his army is he wants me to come down the middle. He has a lot of skirms in the middle, and on the left side he has a further 4 plus a Windbush Jaeger in Overwatch, where I'm going to find one weakness on the right side, which he can't shoot me, and that's what I'm going to utilize. We'll see that soon enough. Now Imperator L33 is going to attack from the front against his opponent, Great Britain, and this is quite risky, I must say, because of how good Great Britain units are. Practically strong on all fronts, apart from the fact they don't have any lances. Their rifles will just blow anything apart, and you can see he's taking advantage over the bottleneck, Great Britain. So if he wants to break through, he's going to have to lose a lot of men. And soon enough, Imperator L33 is going to start taking the right side. The only person taking the middle right now is Austria with some howitzers. So against Great Britain in a middle frontal charge, you're going to have a lot of losses regardless because of their rifles. They have huge reload, and same with their line infantry. They've been debuffed, they're standard, although their stats are the same. Now, my opponent has tried to start ninjaing his long range in the mid, and I caught one with a Lancer, since our Lancers are just so damn fast. Now I'm starting to move up on the right side, like I said before. He can't shoot me from this side. All his units are designed to shoot coming through the middle, and I'm not going to go there, simple as that. So this same Lancer is going to come down the mid now, and I said Austria has some units stationed there. He's got howitzers, and he only just stopped moving them. He's got units accompanying them, but I'm hitting from a different angle. So again, it's just a matter of hitting where to hit. So not once am I going to attack where my opponent wants me to go. The front was heavily fortified, and he's going to try and go into melee now just to shoo away my Ulan. Or not Ulan, just the Lancer. And you can see Imperator L33's army is coming in to reinforce. He really wants to take this middle here, because by doing that he can separate both armies, and he can attack both at will. There are also some trivial moves by all of us in this battle. I'll go through them as they happen. Some are quite odd, which are just some small decision making and prioritization can just change the flow of the battle. Now I got one old guard, and I also have a guard Seamen, and my opponent has 1 cav only, and he charged at my vulnerable long line infantry, but I had guard Seamen blocking the back and providing covering fire. You know, apparently there's a Steam achievement if you get your guard Seamen and shoot the enemy general in the eye. It's called the Golden Money Shot achievement. And if you expect me to stop immature jokes about guard Seamen, you will. That's pretty much futile. It'll keep coming and coming and coming, like guard Seamen. You know, guard Seamen's pretty popular in San Francisco. Imperator L33's army has made contact with that contingent army on the right side. Effectively, both armies are torn apart now, and you saw what he did there. He had a very close range assault, very close range fire, plus cavalry charges. I'm taking the back now. In this map, there's a lot of maneuver possibilities. You can't really cover everything unless you want every sector to be weak. Now I engage in the middle after I engage the right side, just to maintain momentum. I do not want my opponent to breathe pretty much ever in my attacks. I like to time an attack. You might want to do this as well. when you make contact, you want to end the conflict as soon as possible. By doing that, your men will be quite fresh, and a lot of them will still be alive if you do it really, really quickly, because then you trigger the chain route, and kill per second is a major morale thing. So if you kill quickly, you can get that chain route quite fast. So I have units in the rear now. I send them all the way around, and I'll just do some recharges which will finish them off. You can see the general there, he only has a generic one. Me and Imperator L have better than generic generals, but our opponents only have the generic one. And you can probably tell, you can just see the difference. They go orange in morale bar very quickly. Now there's one trivial thing I didn't fully understand. Imperator L is coming to reinforce me. I didn't know why. He could have come around his opponent, which would accompany his movement there. You saw in the middle. Keep an eye on that map though. It'll help you with my commentary and help you from getting lost. So what Imperator L's opponent keeps doing is falling back. Now this is mostly because his rear is about to be rocked, and he can keep falling back into more and more kill zones due to the hills. So he can fall behind a pretty sturdy hill and just cover the frontal area. So if Imperator L wants to come over, he'll have to incur many losses. Now here we have my cav. My cav have arrived in this main vicinity, and I'm going to go for the artillery. There's a shot of the open space, although Great Britain is quite fast in retaliating. Now if you keep an eye on the map, on the right side of that map, there's two red triangles, and these are heavy cavalry. This is really quite cunning from Great Britain. He'll keep falling back until there's a clear attacking strike possibility with those two cav, and he'll just come down and just rain all over this parade. Although at that point there's another trivial matter which I didn't fully understand. So there goes the reinforcement. I've gone for the artillery. He's already sent out a Dragoon Guard. Although there's multiple rear attacks here. He's done the right thing and kept his general out. If you watch my previous video, if you keep your general in a fight, it's gonna freaking die. That's about it, and then you will lose very quickly. So Imperator L has to keep trudging on. This is a very difficult way to take on your opponent. Although due to the bottlenecks, there's not much choice. He has to really wait for his reinforcing army and my army to give as much help as possible. Now this is a shot of the Dragoon Guards on the hill, and I was talking about how he keeps falling back, and Imperator L has to keep pushing forward, otherwise he'll be shot at by superior light infantry. Now simple pulling tactics will allow many things like that to happen. Now there's a shot of Napoleon. Napoleon and his artillery. Oh, that was horrible. Okay, things are starting to finish up, although this one charge is just so huge. You'll see me trying to go for the general again, just in that quick shot there. Now the Dragoon's coming down, and the trap is set.
Sir, and must rest a while.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, because of our high gens, you probably find a lot of our units aren't routing. I had some shots of militia. I sent a militia into a melee, and they didn't even rout until about 20. That's being shot in the back and meleeed in the face. And here's the trivial thing, he could have sent those Dragoon Guards continuously into the fray, although he pulls them out to try and attack my idle cavalry. And so I just waited until he got really, really close, and I just ran off. I lost one though. I probably waited a bit too long. But what happened was, those Dragoon Guards were out of the fight, and this is what happened to his remaining army. Imperator L was able to keep pushing on, and absolutely just destroy what was left. They absolutely needed the Dragoon Guards to stay there and help them out. Without that reinforcement, units are left alone. And earlier on we saw what happens when you have units left alone. Your opponent can take advantage of them quite easily, not to mention our morale. Your morale will always be quite low if they're alone. And here's another young guard. I got one young guard, I got one old guard. I didn't want to take too many old guards because they seem to just cause chain routes by just standing there. And with that old guard you saw, it just kept meleeing on because of my Napoleon, the global morale bonus, so it's well worth the money depending on your army. If you don't really want to take a lot of high-end units, you'll want a high-end general to counter that. But if you take your generic general, you probably also want to go for quantity rather than quality, because that's what you're doing with the money, you want more units. So what we saw there was I just manipulated the land there in defeating my opponent, and we rocked the flank in a combined assault with me and Imperator Lee. Good game to all who played. Thanks for watching.